So I can't tell you. It's like every week, several times a week, somebody's asking me about my hat. I got two of them. I actually got four of these right now, maybe five. I think I have three of these, but I usually rotate two of them. The green one is what they call an HBT. It's a U.S. Army cap from World War II. It's a reproduction. It's an exact reproduction. I took the tag out. The other one still has the tag, but even on the tag, I think it says 1943 or something in it. HBT stands for herringbone twill. I'm holding this close to the camera, hoping it's going to focus so you can see the pattern. Herringbone twill is, it's 100% cotton, very tight weave, and heavy duty. And if you cut into it, it doesn't want to continue to tear. And this is the Marine Corps version. Now, on the Army version, there's a seam in the very center above the bill here. Right? The Marine Corps version, and I'm a Marine, it's actually, there's two of them. There's not one in the center, there's one on each side of the center there. That's the difference between the Marine cap and the Army. And the Marine Corps had a reversible pattern going. It's called a frog skin camo. So when you're on the beach without a lot of foliage, you got that going, with the sand. And then with the foliage. Now, interestingly, today, the Australian military wears a camo that's very similar to this still, which makes sense because it's the same part of the world. Short bill. There's nothing in here. It's just extra material sewn together with a bunch of seams sewn into it for stiffness. And I like these things, but as you guys know, it's not just the cap, right? It's how you wear it. Now, in the Corps, you wear your cap up here, and you got your brim down, and there's a rule, 2 fingers above the bridge of the nose, right? Boom. And that's how you wear it if you were in the service, okay? The visor's there for a reason, keeps the sun out of your eyes. You see those people with their hats on backwards and they're squinting, wearing sunglasses? All they gotta do is turn their hat around. I like wearing it. I like tucking my ears and pulling it down. It seems to stay on more, and I just don't like the way my ears look when they're hanging out because I got these big Dumbo ears, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I wear it. Another thing, hang on a sec with this beeping. Oh, it went away. This background noise thing kills me. I need a professional studio. I want to talk about the whole thing going on here because it comes up all the time and I make fun of myself. This is what I call Hobo Chic. Hobo Chic. This is my official bum look, right? You want some old t-shirt from an obscure defunct bar, you want to find those. And then I wear utility trousers that I cut off. And I get these things for 20 bucks or less at a swap meet, and they're super comfortable. I keep in the cargo pockets. I've always got 2 bandanas on one side. I keep usually my cap with a pencil in this one here. Sometimes other stuff, wallet, everything else. When I'm carrying. And, keys in this other pocket with a Swiss Army knife. I should do a full-on pocket dump for you guys sometime. Even show you what I keep in the wallet, because I'm always ready. But yeah, that's just my thing, because I'm almost always working. But even if I go out in public, it's just a cleaner version of this. less stains usually. The funny thing is, I met this lady years ago at a swap meet, and she goes around in a van with a little dog all over the country, and she looks for old workwear, beat up workwear, stuff with holes in it and paint and everything else. She brings it here, she cleans it up, and she sells it to celebrities for top dollar, thousands of dollars. If you see LeBron James walking around with these green trousers with paint stains on, he bought them from her. That's who she's selling to, people like that. And she's getting thousands of dollars for stuff that I create. I'm creating this stuff in the shop all the time. It's crazy. So it's like, it really is funny to me. It's funny to me that super rich people are going to spend exorbitant amounts of money to walk around looking like a hobo, like I do, like a hardcore working blue collar dude. Actually, which is the opposite of a hobo. I know somebody's going to give me grief for saying those are two of the same things. I know it's not. In case we haven't gotten to this point already, if you're new here, I am not right about everything. And I don't care to be. But I just wanted to get this out. So on the caps, you can find them on eBay. Just look up HBT WW2 and do 2-letter I's, capitals, you know, for World War II. You can put the number 2, give that a shot as well. And you can find them there. They're usually not that expensive. They're not all the same. They're not all the same. There are reproductions that are crap. They might work, but they're just not made as well. I actually have some of those. I should have thought to bring them. I could have showed them to you. But yeah, I think that's about it. I don't know what else I can tell you. You guys know I'm into these boots, the Broadwinger boots, handmade, trace your foot, all that stuff. And I do like to wear the wool socks because they're the best. And the watch thing. So this is the funny thing. So I will say, funnily, ironically, coincidentally, I can't think of another adjective right now, but the LA County Sheriff, you know, the head honcho there last year, I think it was. You can find this online. He came out and basically, this is not verbatim, told people to walk around looking like a bum. Don't dress super nice, don't wear jewelry, don't wear fancy watches, stuff like that, because you are making yourself a target for criminals. That's where we're at today in Los Angeles and other major cities. So, I'm already on board, man. I was already on board looking like a bum. I just think that's funny. Funny, not funny. Not funny at all. That's where we're at now. So, and there's going to be some more watch stuff coming. Also, my email, mike@mikezdesign.com. I'm unable to respond to emails right now. There's been a bunch of you sending me notes. I've been unable to get back to you. I apologize. I've got my own server. They're on the East Coast. And about every year or so, every year to 2 years, something happens. I don't touch anything, but something happens in my settings in the computer where I can get email, but I am unable to respond to it. I got to deal with them. They got to tell me what the number is, the correct stuff, and I got to go into my settings, and I got to change something, and then I usually get it to work. And I have not been able to find the time to do that yet because of the time difference. And this whole week, I've had to leave the apartment super early because they're working on the roof of the building. I got to get out of there by 8 a.m. and I've been working all day. And I'm just beat up at the end of the day, and they're not there, I don't think. Maybe I could do it when I get home, but I'm just brain dead at that point. I want to entertain myself, relax, and then go to bed, you know. Start it all over again the next day. So, yeah. With the recent videos, by the way, with the media thing and the union thing and everything else, I mean, I want to tell you, I'm getting a lot, I'm kind of shocked. There's like 1 or 2 comments that are coming from those people. They got a problem. I'm only telling the truth, as always. But I'm getting a lot of positive comments there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Some of you were telling me you're watching me on your big TV at home. I apologize. That has to be absolutely scary and horrendous, looking at this on a big friggin' television set. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that. That'd be a little much for me. But okay. I'll stand back further from the camera for you. I do get complaints about my mic not always being great. I hear you. It sounds good on my system. And I noticed that when there have been times when I couldn't hear it, somebody else's video, a lot of times it was on my end with my own volume settings and whatnot. So give that a shot. I don't get too many complaints about that. Just saying. What was the other thing? There was another thing there. I went off. Did I go off on a tangent again? I think I went off on a tangent again. There was something else I was going to say. Okay, can't respond to emails right now. Oh, yeah, listen. I've got playlists. So if you think this is good, like this stuff I've been talking about with the union stuff, if you think that's entertaining, please go back, go to my playlists, and there's a section there. It's like random thoughts and fun stories, something like that. So I don't even know the names of my own playlist. I don't go in there all the time. But there's some videos from a couple, 2, 3 years ago where I'm talking about this stuff, and there's like 40 views. You know, it was crazy. I thought I might get onto something, but at the time I only had maybe 1,000 subscribers, and nobody gave a crap. So there's new people here for different reasons, and I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. You know, it's going to be a weird place. And I also lied. I could be, you know, when I say I lied, it's not that I purposefully lied. I just said something, and now I'm going back on it. And that is the watch thing, because I've kind of, I bought a couple watches. I bought some, well, you'll see. I'll do some videos on it, because I've realized it's a fun thing for some people, and I didn't realize how much some of my friends are into it. And if Chad, if you're watching, I'm going to go to Chad's house at some point. Chad is the guy who beat this watch to hell, and now he's beating a Rolex to hell. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Last time I saw it, looked pretty good. They do tend to hold up better. But I've learned so much by going down the rabbit hole on the watch thing. It's really turned a gear in my mind about, like, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get a decent watch, and there's watches coming from other places that already come with sapphire crystals and ceramic bezels and all these things that, but they're cheap. They're inexpensive. They still have Seiko movement. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on out there in the world. These cobbled together watches they call Mumbai specials from India. There's a whole thing. We'll get into that. It'll be interesting and somewhat entertaining, I'm sure. Anyhow, I got to get back to work. So I'm a working dude. We'll just drop it there. Thanks again for being here. Be good to one another. Come back often. Tell your friends.